In honor of National Security Education Day, China has developed a propaganda campaign warning women against dating foreign men, fearing that foreign men are in search of access to state secrets. This poster campaign is entitled Dangerous Love, and reports lately show that contact between China and foreigners is at an all-time high, with the country having over 840,000 residents. Now, this campaign is addressing a wider issue, right? Western influence and Western values. And this comes just off of the heels of a Chinese man, Huang Yu, who was convicted and sentenced to death after he released something like 150,000 classified documents to a foreign power.
Mm-hmm. I find it interesting that it was a Chinese male who did that, and yet they're like, women. First of all, I mean, that's a little bit, sounds like an innuendo to me, like Western men are after your state secrets, if you know what I mean, right? But I don't know, I don't like the patronizing aspect of it, so this one Chinese man is the one that released the documents, but now it's up to women to not be wooed by men. Like, what is, I mean, even just looking at some of these pictures, I don't know.
So it's a 16-panel comic book story style poster that's being widely displayed around Beijing, and it's telling the story of a little young, attractive female servant. Her name is Little Li. She is being wooed by a foreigner who's posing as a visiting scholar. Mm-hmm. So it goes through this whole chronology of, she's wooed by the foreigner. His name is David. He takes her out. He takes her on romantic walks throughout the park. He brings her flowers. Right. And then he proceeds to ask her for some, classified information. She initially says no because, she's a government employee. And then finally he woos her, and it turns out he's a foreign spy. Right. And so then one of the other cartoon slides shows her being, apprehended by Chinese officials.
Well, and already there's a limited number of women even involved in the Chinese government, right? But of course, the assumption is like, well, they're delicate sensibilities. They'll be just so, taken aback. Don't believe that a guy actually wants to talk to you and likes you. He's after your government secrets, right? Like, it would be one thing if there was a broad sort of propaganda machine here for both men and women. I can't help but point out the patronizing aspect of this.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things to this point, one of the things that the Communist Party tabloid warned was that men could appear beautiful on the surface, but bring disaster to the Chinese nation.
Yeah. Well,
these foreign men.
Goodness gracious. Like, we've seen enough James Bond movies. We know it goes the reverse too. You've got these like beautiful spies, like spy women that are like trying to seduce. I don't know.
Here's what, is a really interesting statement from William Nee, who is Amnesty International's China analyst. And here's what he had to say about this. He says that the government hopes to send out a signal of deterrence to warn anybody who may be in a similar position of disclosing state secrets to foreign organization, while at the same time giving the general public the perception that spies and potential spies may be in their midst, right at their side, This idea of spies being everywhere, common to China in the Mao era to some extent, is now helping to increase paranoia and suspicion in society and even greater xenophobia.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, again, national security is important. It's if this is something they feel that they need to deal with. I don't think that on the reverse that we would be able to do that. I don't think we would be able to get away with just releasing some sort of comic book that has like, this like shady foreigner from somewhere wooing people. You know what I mean? Like, that seems like
that would not be
very dated style of propaganda, but that China is still utilizing.
Well, we'll keep an eye on this in China, and careful when you're talking to strangers.